Howdy folks, I do hope you're all having a good weekend and welcome back to what I have been informed by Ubisoft's lawyers we are not allowed to call Communist Revolutionary Simulator 6 because they really like to sell this game in America. Bearing that in mind, I'd love to know what you lot think we should be calling this game series. And don't worry, the Far Cry videos are not family friendly, so you can be as honest as you want. Anyway, quick recap. I have to knock out a bunch of signal jammers so that Yelena can catch up on her Netflix shows or something. Now, these are the signal jammers. You will note that they are 100% impervious to heavy machine gun rounds. They are 100% impervious to 57mm armor-piercing rocket rounds. Now, if you're anything like me, you're probably thinking, why doesn't Yara make their tanks out of whatever they use to construct these signal jammers? You're thinking, fucking hell Ubisoft, you've done it again, haven't you? Well, actually, no. I'm pretty sure that Ubisoft have actually given some thought about the implications that these signal jammers may hold for the future construction of Yaran tanks, because while they are invulnerable to heavy machine guns and rockets, one swift smack from a machete, and make sure you're using rubber-handled machetes, kids, especially when dealing with electricity, but one swift smack from a machete, and this thing's as good as dead. And if there's one thing that the government of Yara knows that the rebels and peasants are not in short supply of, it's machetes. It's no good making all of your armoured vehicles immune to heavy machine gun and rocket fire if they're just going to collapse into a snotty heap the second Joe Peasant waves a gardening implement in their general direction. So you can see, they have actually put some thought into this. It's not quite as astonishingly stupid as it may first appear.
Are you gonna call me after I take down everyone?
No, I was calling to let you know you don't have to call me every time.
Smart. So how do you know so much about this shit? Seems pretty advanced.
Funny story. I helped set it up.
You're kidding.
Remember when Castillo started? He made all those big promises.
I've never been one for politics.
I didn't vote for him, but he promised to get El Este connected to not just the rest of Yara, but the world. When he won, he drafted any computer geek he could find to get El Este online.
This story is not going to end well.
Didn't take long to figure out Castillo was using us to set up a network to spy on people. A bunch of us tried to sabotage it, but the regime figured out fast we weren't on Team Castillo.
So, are we being spied on now?
No. We found workarounds. Shared them with Libertad as well. See? We can be friends.
Do you remember a couple of weeks ago I was talking about how Ubisoft had managed to patch out one of the more amusing and useful bugs in the game? Because if you absolutely definitely had to destroy something, all you needed to do, a couple of months ago at least until they patched it, was ride a horse through it. Because the horses would destroy anything that they ran into. What's that? Wire fence? No problem, the horse will drive straight through it. You know, unclimbable wire fences that you couldn't get over in order to get to your objective. You had to work your way around and try to find the hidden entrance. Just didn't need to, as long as you had a horse. Ride straight through the fence, no problem. Barging cars, trucks and tanks aside as you go. Well, you know, that was far too much fun, so of course Ubisoft patched it out. Except, and here's the thing, they only did it for the horses. It's as if they didn't realise that every animal in the game actually had this bug, or they didn't think it was important enough to fix it for everything. So they only fixed it for the horses, which is why pigs, for example, can still do shit like this. Oh, Ubisoft. You so silly. Actually, now, see if you can follow my train of thought on this one. This is a peasant revolution after all. And the peasants are the ones with all the pigs. So, I know this sounds stupid, but just hear me out. What if, for the final assault on the capital, we just got all the pig farmers together and drove their herds of pigs ahead of us to clear the streets of all the tanks and armoured vehicles? What? In this game, that would probably work. No, I'm serious. Well, I'm not 100% serious, but I'm only half joking. Look at what these pigs can do. I want these things on my side. I mean, the Russians thought they were onto something by training dogs to attack tanks, but if only they'd had pigs. Look at how many armour-piercing bullets it takes to put one of these things down. Seriously, I think we might be onto something here. Shall we just take some time to talk about how radio jamming actually works, rather than how Ubisoft seem to think it works? Because it is fairly important given the nature of the current mission. You see, Ubisoft appear to be working on the theory that the strength of the jamming depends on the number of active radio jammers. And to the uninitiated, i.e. most people who don't actually know how radio jamming works, that probably sounds like it makes sense. Except it doesn't. It's actually really, really simple to jam a radio frequency. All you have to do is broadcast a noise, and it can be anything, static, music, whatever, over any given frequency, with more power than the person that you're trying to jam. So basically your signal drowns out theirs. Now it's slightly more complicated than that based on where the transmitters and receivers are located, but that is basically it. It's very, very simple to do. It's all just based on the strength of the transmitting signals, whether that's the person that you're trying to listen to or the jamming station, based on their proximity or signal strength relative to the receiving station. It's very, very simple to do. It's also very, very simple to avoid. All you have to do is switch frequencies.
It's not ideal, Danny, but you can try getting into McKay's building if you want.
You sure you don't need more?
Your call?
Well, I'm pretty sure she doesn't need more. The simple fact that you're having a conversation with her that isn't being drowned out by jamming indicates that no, you don't need any more. It's got nothing to do with the number of jamming stations. It's got to do with where they are, where you are, and where Yelena is. And if the worst comes to the worst, if you can't just move your ass to a position where you're not being jammed, just change frequencies. It's not hard. I speak from actual experience here. Remember, for my first 5 years in the Royal Navy, I was a radio operator. So I know what I'm talking about here. And remember, this was in my first 5 years in the Royal Navy, so I wasn't a particularly senior radio operator either. Also, I wasn't very good at it, which is one of the reasons why I swapped branches. But as a very junior and kind of bad radio operator, even I know that this is not how radio jamming works. Once again, I cannot help but feel that Ubisoft are getting all of their real-world research done not from anything based in actual facts and reality, but from TV shows. Yeah, I watch 24. I know how radio jamming works. No, you don't. You really, really don't. Oh, come on, Jingles, it's just a game. You're overanalyzing this way too much. Well, yeah, maybe that is true. But the thing is, even if you take it at face value that they've just done it this way for the sake of gameplay, okay, fine, fair enough. But even if that's the case, it would have been just as easy and potentially a lot more satisfying if they'd taken the trouble to ask somebody how radio jamming actually works and done it properly. Because then instead of just going around and knocking out jamming stations in order to reduce the jamming signal strength, which, you know, sounds good to the uninitiated, but isn't actually how it works. And if they'd done it in a way that, for example, I don't know, let's say you look at the map around the facility that you're going to assault, McKay's headquarters, you have the location of the jamming stations, so you know where Yelena is going to be, you know where you need to be, McKay's headquarters, and then you try to contact Yelena, you can't get through, there's too much jamming, so you knock out only the jamming stations that actually affect communication between you and Yelena. And you'd have to figure out which ones those were, and you could tell how successful you were being based on how much of a signal you were getting from Yelena or Yelena was getting from you. The communication between the two of you would have been non-existent at first, and then you'd start to hear each other through the jamming until you'd knocked out the right jamming stations, and suddenly you were able to talk to each other and get a good signal. Or you could have just switched frequencies. Because that would have worked too. Yeah, okay, never mind. Anyway, that's McKay's headquarters, by the way. And I figured at this point I'd knocked out enough of the frequency jammers that it was worth making an assault. Here's where I ran into, well, I'm not going to say a problem, but it's just another example of the way Ubisoft handles things. So,
Ugly
here we are,
building,
McKay Global.
Ugly business.
Show me some soldiers. One there. Not anymore. Have not yet been detected. Ooh, helicopter. Don't want to get spotted by that. Feeling a bit exposed here, but at least the helicopter can no longer see me. I mean, there's no way to take the helicopter down quietly unless I snipe the pilot. And I can't do that from here.
Shit. Poison.
I can have a try. Nope. All I've done is alert him. Well, I say I've alerted him. He's aware that he's being shot at, but he doesn't know exactly who's shooting at him. So, okay, fine. We're all right. Wait, that's not the button I was trying to press. Oops. I keep doing that. So where's the helicopter gone? Seems to be in the hover. Oh, there it is. Again, unsuccessful in sniping the pilot, but it looks like he's had enough. He's buggering off. He's landing, perhaps? Anyway, still haven't been spotted, so this is all good. There's another guard over there. Take him out, take him out, take him out. Oh, there's one coming down the stairs. Doing quite well here. Or at least I thought I was. Oh, quick. Don't let them get any shots off and alert the rest. Yeah, we're good. One more. Gotcha. Again. Mowed down a whole bunch of guards. Oh, and that's it. Right. Yeah, no, I don't want the rocket launcher. Thanks. But, no. Okay, so now they know I'm here. Shots have been fired. I have to... who's that? Yeah, put you down. So I have to find the server rooms. And do something to 2 separate servers. I'm not entirely sure what. Probably walk up to them and press a button. This is Far Cry. It doesn't get more complicated than that. And I thought I was doing pretty well. Unfortunately, I'm kind of not. Because while I have mowed down an entire platoon of soldiers, due to the way this mission is structured, it doesn't actually matter how many troops you kill. I could have mown down an entire division of troops, but once you get inside the building and start messing around with the computers, they just constantly respawn. And you'll eventually run out of ammunition before you trigger the end mission state. So I thought I was doing really well. There's the first computer. We've already established, by the way, that Danny has no idea how to handle computers, but she doesn't seem to have any problems here.
Yelena, I'm connected to a computer.
Already downloading.
And now the alarm goes off. So from here on in, you're fighting against the clock. It's like fighting a raid boss in an MMO.
Find anything?
There's a soft enrage timer.
Told McKay to clear his browser history.
Which basically depends on how much ammunition you have left.
Danny, I have the office's schedule. Says McKay might be meeting people there today.
I'm crossing my fingers.
You're going to need to pick up that key. That will give you access to the conference room. But you're not allowed to actually go into the conference room until you've hacked the second computer, which is on the first floor. Which, for those of you watching this in the United Kingdom, is the ground floor. Yeah, that's something that gets really confusing. Well, it's usually only confusing for the British because, let's face it, most of these games are written in America, so... First floor is what we call the ground floor. The second floor is what we call the first floor. So which floor do I need to be on? It says I need to get the first floor computer. So is that upstairs or I don't know. But yeah, you can't hang around at this point. you will run out of ammunition long before they run out of soldiers, because they will never run out of soldiers, which kind of makes a complete mockery of all the stealth and care that I took
On it.
getting to this point, getting in mostly unobserved. It just ends up not mattering. From here on in, it's all about speed and efficiency, not firepower, because eventually they'll just kill you. So I had a few more attempts, getting increasingly frustrated each time, until I eventually figured out that the optimal way to complete this particular mission, well, you start off stealthily, definitely. You want to delay the amount of time it takes for the alarm to go up for as long as humanly possible. You also need to figure out where those two computers are before you activate them. Because once you activate them, the alarm goes off and the never-ending supply of troops. Wow. Apparently 9mm is a way bigger caliber than I first anticipated, because it's not enough to get through a 2-inch gap in a blind. Okay. But yes, as soon as the alarm goes off, those never-ending supplies of bad guys are going to get turned on. So, nice and easy does it, and I already know that the first computer... Oh, somebody spotted me. Got him. Is that another one there? No. No, that's some ammunition. Okay. Oh yes, I already know that the first computer is down the hall and on the left. And the second one is downstairs somewhere. So, first computer, same place as before. And we're in. Now if you speak Spanish, the second server is very easy to find. It's in the ground floor room that's marked servers, except in Spanish. Makes sense if you think about it. So now you just need to defend both of the computers until Yelena has finished with the download. And the speed of Yelena's download depends entirely on how many of those signal jammers you took out. The more jammers, the slower the download. The more jammers knocked out, the faster the download. Which, like I said, makes sense to people that don't actually know how signal jamming works. And once you've completed the download, it's time to head to the conference room, which is located on the first floor, or the second floor if you're in America. But in order to get into the conference room, you must pick up the key from the desk in McKay's office, which is located on the third floor, or the second floor if you're in the UK. I told you this was going to get confusing.
Okay, there's a connected computer in the conference room. I can unlock it. Go there and patch me in.
Can you lock out the soldados when I'm in there?
You got it, Danny.
Wait, what? If Yelena can control access to the locks of the conference room door remotely, why the fuck did I need to get the key from McKay's... Oh, you know what? It doesn't matter.
Come on.
Hello? How's it going there, backpack?
How do you think, you Yankee asshole?
Oh, well, Canadian asshole, actually. We're like Americans, except we say sorry as we slide the knife in. What you doing?
You killed my friends. I'm here to pay you back.
Gotcha. Now, when they died, did their brains leak through their ears and the nose? No, you know what? No spoilers. I'll check the footage once I put my little idiot to bed. Hey, primo job on Benitez, by the way. You did me a solid there. I was having this meeting with Castillo, and I saw the video of you animals hanging her. I mean, it's right here. It's on my phone. He was really ticked off.
Good. You're next.
Well, let's look at the facts. Your country's 7 years behind the rest of us. If you just let Castillo and me do our thing, you people would go from third world to first. Like that.
You people. I can feel the love.
Jesus, Murphy, don't you get it? You're not my first gorilla. Yara's not my first shithole. This isn't personal, it's just your turn. So you just hang tight, because I've got some real fun hombres heading your way.
Sounds fun.
What is that?
What I need to destroy everything with your name on it.
Security breach.
See you soon, McKay.
You fucking jerk off!
And we're done. And on the face of things, unusually for this game, it actually sort of made sense.
Danny, I've got the intel. Now
moving.
What an hijo de puta. But hey, I got more intel on McKay and Castillo's poison operation.
What's our next move?
According to his files, the pipe network and the plant are a big deal. McKay put most of his security on them.
Ha, let's fuck them up. Which one first?
Up to you. Rendezvous with me at Valera Lumberyard, or Looking Mama at Cardoso Mill.
Except, there are two little issues just kind of niggling away at the back of my head that I'm finding it impossible to ignore. If the whole point of this operation was to physically get me into McKay's conference room so that I could insert a physical device into his computer and extract the data that we were after, if that was the whole point of the exercise,
Okay.
what the fuck were we doing messing around with signal jammers in the first place? If we were doing a physical data recovery operation, why were we worrying about the signal strength and the download speeds? Because we weren't downloading anything. I broke into his headquarters in order to physically download the data onto my USB stick. The USB stick doesn't give a shit about your radio signal strength because it's not transferring the data over the radio waves. And if the point was to remotely access the site, why the fuck did I need to break in? It can't be both. It has to be one or the other. Ubisoft. You really didn't think this one through, did you? I realise that probably isn't going to come as a great shock to anybody who's been following this video series or playing this excuse for a game. But nevertheless, I feel like the point is worth raising. Again, Far Cry 3, 10 million sales. Far Cry 4, 10 million sales. Far Cry 5, 25 million sales. Far Cry 6, yeah, they're not publishing the sales figures. Gee, I wonder why. Well, anyway, I'm sure there's more stupidity to come. I'd be very disappointed if there wasn't, but that's it for today. I hope you've been amused by today's video. I hope you're all having a fantastic weekend. And as always, take care, stay safe, and I'll catch you next time.